want to slip into that spot and hope that they don't get busted too. You know what I mean? So the idea is, okay, so well, if the penalty is worse, right, maybe it won't be so quick. Right, that's the idea. Is that maybe it won't be so quick for someone else to try to slip right back into that slot. Maybe someone won't take up that mantle as quickly, but they will, because the only motivation is money. That's it. At the end of the day, it's money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you know,
the consequences that all these drug dealers are facing, it's not enough.
Right.
And I think that if you say, listen,
it's
you're going to
bogging down the judicial system.
Right.
Well,
If you're an arms dealer in various parts of the world, okay, and you get busted selling arms, you're going to get murdered.
Yep.
Okay, you're going to get killed. You're going to get the death sentence. But if you're an arms dealer and you get picked up, you telling me there isn't somebody that's ready to slide right back into that slot for the money?
Agree.
Of course there is. You know what I mean?
How about this? You get busted for selling narcotics, and you go, well, Tony sold me this. He gets it from A. He gets it from B. He gets it from C. Next thing you know, Tony Montana is gone.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
For instance,
yeah, so what happens there? So that's a good point.
Yeah.
So what happens for the people who turn other people in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think that that's also a caveat that a lot of people, maybe the lawyers are saying, listen, if we have this in place and say, listen, if you want to cut a plea deal and you don't want to die, you need to tell me who else is selling and who's the kingpin, if you will, and we'll go
Who's
after
the
that.
guy in Lawrence that's bringing this up to New Hampshire?
You know, instead of getting prison of life, well, we'll cut it down to 25 years instead. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the one thing. President Trump, there's things that he says, like what Aaron said previously. He shoots off from the hip. You know, he says things. He's very passionate about certain things. Does he come up and comes up with this global, speech or statement and say this is what we're going to do? The one thing that he does, and the previous presidents have done this in the past as well, is he sets out a goal. And he doesn't know, and he doesn't say how exactly we're going to do this.
Right.
It's all about the wording.
Be paid for.
No drug dealer is going to get a death penalty in our lifetime.
No,
nobody.
No.
Nobody.
No, they're going to be looking at mandatory life sentences, that sort of shit, depending on how much they have.
It's a plea bargain. It's a plea bargain.
I get it, okay, but you're going to stick them in jail and give them free housing,
Right. Trump is in constant campaign mode. You know what I mean? He's campaigning for his next election cycle. So it's easy to say these things, but what's important, whether or not he has the capacity to actually affect that kind of change, what's important is that it spawns the conversation that we're having right now. You know what I mean? And being in the midst of one of the worst opioid crisis, we are in it here in New Hampshire. You know what I mean? We are in it. And so it's important to discuss the idea that, that maybe we should, I think without question, we should consider the penalties for dealing opioids should be greater.
Yep.
But
we need to come up with an ultimate
supply
resolution.
and demand, dude. At the end of the day, if the demand is there, the supply will always be there. And this is why, somebody, a good friend of mine posted the other day that mental health and recovery services, like the fact that there's a lack of funding for that is really the biggest problem. Well, I mean, that's tough to argue with.
He did mention something towards that in his speech, that he wants to make, regular pharmaceutical, what do you call it? Products available to people at a lower discount rate or free.
Right.
He
They've
mentioned
been trying to do that for 200 years.
Well, he did mention
somebody actually brought up a good point, though. So you have a disease when you're addicted to drugs. So you can
Hold on 1 second. Do not bring that up. When we come back after our commercial segment, we're going to talk about that. What is a disease? What isn't a disease? Is it an addiction? We want to talk about that when we come back. Sports and news headlines coming up. Common Sense New Hampshire. News and sports headlines brought to you by Perfect Entertainment. Rallies brought awareness to gun violence and school safety. These rallies were held on Saturday in several New Hampshire communities. The student-led March for Our Lives rallies were held in Concord, Keene, Lancaster, Jackson, Nashua, and in Portsmouth. Senators Maggie Hassan and Jean Shaheen and the Nashua Mayor Jim Donchis attended the rally in Nashua. Organizers said roughly 500 people gathered at City Hall after marching from Elm Street Middle School. Parents and lawmakers supported the students' message. The rally in Concord drew the biggest crowd in the state. Organizers estimated there were about 4,000 participants there. And in Portsmouth, they had over 2,500 people. President Trump made his first visit to New Hampshire since the 2016 campaign on Monday, unveiling a plan to combat the opiate epidemic that includes a push for the death penalty for drug dealers and a crackdown on illegal immigrants. Mr. Trump spoke in the state with the nation's third highest rate of deaths from overdoses, where opiates are a potent political issue for Mr. Trump. In a speech at the Manchester Community College, he offered up more a tough talk than he did specifics about his plan or how he would pay for it. The president, however, did say that most of the heroin that comes into the country is coming from our southern border, where he said, quote, where eventually the Democrats will agree with us in building that wall to keep the damn drugs out. That's what he denounced. He also mentioned the state of Massachusetts, where there are sanctuary cities, and he called out Lawrence, Massachusetts, for the blame of the opiate crisis here in the Granite State. In sports, the Celtics will be playing Sacramento. Celtics will be playing the Sacramento Kings today in Sacramento. The Bruins will also be playing the Columbus while in Columbus. And we also have the New England Revolution. Their season have started as well. They'll be playing Houston at Gillette Stadium on Saturday. We also received word that Chris Sale will be the starting pitcher on opening day in April for the Boston Red Sox. Also, in other news, we also found out that Patrice Bergeron will be playing today after suffering 13 games of not being there, obviously, for having a broken foot. So we want to welcome back Patrice Bergeron with that. More Common Sense coming up with the boys right after this.
Common Sense New Hampshire would like to thank McGarvey's for hosting our show. They're located at 1097 Elm Street, the oldest bar in Manchester, New Hampshire. They have great food specials brought to you by Chef Mel. Monday nights is Customer Appreciation Night, where your drinks are half off. Don't forget about the award-winning karaoke 7 nights a week. McGarvey's can also be found on Facebook. Once again, they're located at 1097 Elm Street, Manchester, New Hampshire. Their phone number is 603-627-2721.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Push-Up Bra Inventor.
Mr. Push-Up Bra Inventor.
Never before has one man done so much with so little.
Lifting them higher.
From mosquito bites, pimples, and pancakes to melons, mountains, and major league yabos. An engineering feat so brilliant it can only be described as va-va-va-voom. Thanks to you, even a 90-year-old grandmother can go from A to double D in a single bound.
What's your number, Granny?
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh hoister of the Hooter, because when it comes to the bust, you're the best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you're looking for some live music and a little fun, then Perfect Entertainment, Nashua's best for DJs and karaoke selection, is your answer. Hailed by the Nashua Telegraph, they do it all from birthday parties to weddings to corporate events. Perfect Entertainment will provide entertainment your family and friends will remember for a lifetime. For more information, visit the Perfect Entertainment page on Facebook. You can also contact them at 247-6470. That's 247-6470.
Common Sense New Hampshire, live from McGarvey's. Common Sense New Hampshire can be found every Sunday live here at McGarvey's, or, well, that's not true. Let me make this true statement. You can definitely find Common Sense New Hampshire on Sundays, usually on Sundays. Our live podcast is usually here at McGarvey. Sometimes we'll take it on the road, and we'll go to different places as well. But we haven't done that recently. But don't fret. We are going to be doing that
From 7 to 9.
We're going to do that very shortly as well. So we're trying to figure out a place where we can take the show on the road, and we'll broadcast live from there. But again, as Mike mentioned, Common Sense. Common Sense New Hampshire can be found on Sunday nights from 7 to 9 live from McGarvey's. And again, we want to thank Spreaker for giving us our broadcast providing software. We want to thank Skype. We want to thank McGarvey's. And we also want to thank our sponsor for the show, Common Sense New Hampshire. Mike?
PDS, Precision Delivery Solutions. Thank you very much.
We promise you we are going to have a commercial spot, a promo spot for PDS. We're working on that. We just need to grab the details and stuff. Later next week, too, we're going to have our segment called The Ladies' Room. We're going to talk about different things from a lady's perspective, from nail salons to getting your hair done to music reviews and things that are on women's minds.
To making sandwiches.
Yeah.
And cooking good meals.
Exactly.
And
sex.
Cleaning floors.
And sex.
Will that not... I hope those are going to be topics, because this shit I know nothing about.
Yeah. Being a woman, actually 3 things. Cooking, cleaning, and sex. That's it.
Yeah.
What else do you need a woman for? Oh,
Which
pay
is-
bills. Pay bills.
Yeah, pay bills, for
Pay
sure.
bills, yeah.
Yeah, I
Pay bills.
just had a conversation with Shay about this, about how I don't think I've ever, I had my divorce over a year ago, and I started to get okay at paying bills, and then I stopped being okay at paying bills.
So what did you just completely stop?
Yeah, I'll pay the late fee because I just don't like doing it,
You're
man.
that guy?
I just don't like doing it. I don't like doing it. I fucking hate paying bills,
It
man.
is.
So
I would literally rather just live by candlelight, and as long as I got hot water, and that's pretty much it. As long as I have hot water, I really honestly just don't give a shit.
And a clean towel.
Yeah, and a clean towel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Whichever one of those things I get,
That's such a man
first,
thing right
yeah.
there.
I mean,
I could see Daniel Boone over here living out in the wilderness.
yeah,
That
really,
ain't gonna
I know,
happen.
No, I know. I'm too pretty.
Do
I'm
they
too pretty for
deliver
that.
Chinese food in the
Yeah,
wilderness?
really, I'm too pretty for that. But no, I mean, I don't know, man. I fucking hate paying bills, man.
Yeah, we all do.
My ex-wife, man, she coddled me in a big way. You know what I mean? She took care of everything. Like, we had a joint account, obviously, and the bills got paid. I didn't fucking see. I knew nothing about it. You know what I mean? And that shit went on for, 16 years. 18 years.
God bless my
Aaron,
wife. to
Aaron
do
pays
that.
the bills. From the money that we get from all the bars and our private
I
parties
fucking
and
hate
stuff.
paying bills.
But she does
Yeah,
it.
me too. That's what I'm saying.
I cry.
What
I
is it?
cry
Let me ask you
every
this
month.
question, because you're a woman. What's the
cry.
one thing that one is your obligation and you hate doing besides paying bills?
Cleaning.
Cleaning. Yeah.
But that's not your obligation. I mean, Bernie can't clean.
In my
No, I
house,
do.
that's
Yeah,
in my
I
house.
do.
That's my obligation.
All right.
I hate to. Let me tell you one thing right now. I will do the dishes. I hate doing dishes. There are some spots that I'll probably miss on some of the dishes.
This is like a
but I will do it.
Sasquatch sighting, because
You know what
this
I
is
mean?
rare.
I do.
Holy
Yo, I do dishes. I do dishes at Shay's. Man.
I do
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I can
I
see
like
that.
that.
I can
yeah,
see
that.
yeah.
Nothing.
That's a fat joke?
No.
Was that a fat joke?
I
When
literally
you said
do
you could-
nothing.
No, he's like, I can
I
see
may
that.
take plates from the dining room to
Right.
the kitchen,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
after that,
And you'll be more than happy to eat the food that she cooks for you.
Yeah.
A lot of
Of course,
times, a lot of
yeah.
times, when Shay bounces like to go to work or whatever, like I'll pick up her place. Like I'll do the dishes. I'll fucking make the bed. I'll fucking clean the living room.
you were
I'll do
some
all that
weird
shit,
dudes,
you know what I
man.
mean? Yeah.
Weird.
No, I do.
You're
I look at it like
I love to cook. I will cook.
weird.
I look at it like a
She's
kind-
working and stuff. I'll have a hot meal when she comes out of work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
What
absolutely.
the hell?
Yeah.
You guys take medication for this?
Nah, man. I mean, so like
It's called being a real husband.
yeah, she'll cook.
God.
She'll cook like a
I
wicked.
thought I was being real.
She'll cook,
husband.
she'll cook a wicked meal, you know what I mean? Like some fucking crazy ass crap. Like she made these meatballs last night with this pasta, the homemade pasta sauce. I mean, this whole fucking 9 yards was an unbelievable meal. And at the end of it, it's like,
And the way you said thank you.
You should
was
have
Girl,
called
really
Mac.
nice, right?
yeah,
You should have
man.
called Mad Mike because he would have
Girl.
enjoyed this.
yeah, he would have. These fucking meatballs
Yeah.
were massive,
Thanks.
man.
My phone didn't ring. Anyway.
So if she's gonna go through all the trouble of making all this shit, man, I can't in good conscience be like, yeah, do the dishes too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna take a half a bowl and I'm just gonna dump it on the floor too and be like, and clean it up. You know what I mean?
Now
maybe
you're talking my language.
yeah, maybe 60 years ago that shit would have flown. I don't know, man.
Speaking of, all right, so here's our next segment. We need to talk about this.
Yes.
Mr. Driggers brought this up.